Well, hello, we're here at another property tour in northeast Minneapolis. We're going to be going through this property with a group of our MnREIA members. This is a members benefit program where we meet on a monthly basis. We pick a different property that we go look at and we try to determine what's it going to cost to estimate the repairs, what we think the property is worth. First we go through on our own, then we go through as a group. This is a very typical older property. It's in really good condition and just hasn't been updated in many years. And stick around to the very end and we'll have a new tip for you guys, maybe something a little unique about the property. All right, who would like to start? What did you guys come up with for repairs on this one?
$49,500.
$49,500?
$53,000.
53?
54.
54?
35.
35?
I had 55.
Okay, I came up with as is 40,000. So what are we, between 30,000 and 60,000? Hey, you know how often you come into a property and you say, I can do it for 40 and you end up spending 60?
Yep.
Yeah, because if you overdo it, it's very easy. And most people in their beginning, when they're first doing these, that's what happens. Is because they get emotionally attached, they get excited, and they start doing the renovation and they start putting more into it because now they got, you know, they're emotionally invested in it and they want it to be a really good project. So now with that, what do you think, if you spend $40 to $60,000, what do you think the property is worth?
Count and area look the same.
ARV?
Yeah, what's the ARV? After repaired value. You got a 320?
I went conservative at 260.
260? 250? 280, 250?
I was thinking 275.
275?
26 conservative.
I'm coming with 275, 280. Which, from the comps we got here, is on the high side. And so for those of you looking at the 250, 260, you got to remember the type of a rehab that we're talking about, $40, $50, $60,000, is going to justify and easily get the higher values. Right now, if you're going to work with those smaller values, now you can get by with $30,000 on your rehab because you're not going to put that much into the property. So you're not going to be competing against the ones that have been completely renovated by an investor. Yeah, we're going to frame the whole outside 2x. I know a lot of people do the cheap way and do like 2x2s to try to maximize space, but we just do 2x4s all the way around. Anything you got a box around, like over there, you got the meter. So we're going to build a box around that section. Anywhere you got a box out, we're going to be doing that boxing out. But yeah, it's just 2x4 construction all the way around. And I mean, you can get a lot of really good square footage down here, and that'll bring that value on this property from 280 to 340 easily. And as I promised at the very end here is a tip for you guys. One of the things we ran into with this property is this window. Now, we went through the property, we figured that we're going to replace all the windows. Now, when you use our calculation, cost of a window, an average window, $350 per window. You look at the size of this window and you say, well, how many windows, average size windows, would fit within this space? Right, so this is going to be about a 3 to 4 average size windows would fit into this whole space. So I just use 4. I always use a little bit higher number, so I use 4. So if I'm using $350 per the cost of the window times 4, that's going to get me at what? 350 times 2 is 700, times 2 is 1,400. So 1,400 roughly for replacing this window. And you can easily get a medium quality clad window to replace this whole thing for $1,400, $1,500. Now, the thing to keep in mind is the average person knee, if the average person's knee is higher than the bottom of the window, then by code in most cities, this glass down here is going to need to be tempered glass, right? So we're either going to have to spend a lot more money and get this, at least this bottom section with tempered glass, or one thought that we had as the group is we tear this whole thing out and replace it with a bay window and then come up underneath and build out for the bay window, bringing it down, and a contractor will know how to do this, right? And then that section that's coming back down can be all this down here, and then that could be covered with siding, right? And because one of our problems with this exterior of the house here is all the way around this window outside is brick. So it's not like we're going to be able to just paint it or something. We have to blend it into there. So that does add some more complication. But going with a bay window in here is one solution. The other solution would be to replace these bottom sections here with tempered glass, and then this with a normal glass. But doing that is going to increase your costs by getting tempered glass for these lower ones. Right, so just a little thing that you guys got to keep in mind when you're looking at some of these older houses is these window heights. That will save you guys some money if you know that that's going to be a money pit if you don't know about that, and you have to have the properties inspected and you got to replace those windows.